Um, this is part one of my Seven Deadly Sins quarterly discussion that I'm trying to get going. I've been really procrastinating on this. I'm procrastinating on a lot, but I've been wanting to do this for like a little over a week now, and I was trying to get it done like on Thursday, but uh, obviously that didn't happen. So now I got to chapter 50, so I figured since I'm up, I got time. Might as well go ahead and get it out the way. And I got a lot of views on the last Sans video I did, so that's a good thing. Uh, First thing I want to talk about is, I know this is backwards, but I mean, it's a discussion. It's not like I'm doing a read through or anything, but I want to talk about how the Visel Festival was really hype, man. There's so many different moments in that art where I feel like they don't. Well, I feel like the sins in general just don't get enough attention, but various moments in that art, I don't hear a lot of people talk about it amongst the fans, people that I actually know who actually enjoy the series. Like the moment where Hendrickson sticks his hand out to Helbram's, I think it's called Link, the orb that transfers other people's power to Helbram, and he was like, I guess I'll lend you some power. And then Helbram like knocked Meliodas into the side of a mountain, create a big crater in the middle. I mean, on the side. Like, I thought that was pretty hype. Like, I screenshotted that and cropped it and posted it in the Discord, and I was going like, oh my God, Hendrickson is so powerful. Like, it was basically just a feat for Hendrickson. But it was on top of everything else that Helbram already had. And it's just the little different little things like that I noticed going back reading that. Well, I mean, I never actually read this part of the series to begin with. I watched it, and so I missed out on that little section of time when they went through the town and met Griamore and Veronica the first time in the manga, because they meet him for the first time in Visel in the anime, but in the manga it's in some other town. I don't know the name of the town, but anybody that's read the manga knows. And it was also this little moment between Meliodas and Griamore where, like, I think it was like a candle holder that fell on the floor, and before it touched the ground, Meliodas whooped Griamore's ass, like, as it was falling to the ground. I thought that was really cool. I noticed different things that I haven't noticed before. Like this one moment that was actually excluded. Another moment where Meliodas' shadow reflects like this demonic appearance, and now anybody who actually watches the sins or has read the sins should know that Meliodas is actually a demon. So that was a little bit of foreshadowing there that was left out from the anime for reasons unknown. It's crazy to see how, I mean, not even that, because I feel like it's BS that Escanor, not Escanor, if Escanor was there, would have been over. That Bond, Deanne, and Meliodas were powerless pretty much against Gila in the afterlife. I forgot what the name of the place is. They actually have a name for it, but I can't remember. They were basically powerless, and I get it was a way to hype up the sacred treasures and the fact that King already had his, so he went and put in work against her. But at the same time, it's like in Visel, we see that the seven deadly sins are not to be played with, even without their sacred treasures. Like Deanne wasn't taking Hauser serious, and she bodied him. And Hauser, as far as I can remember, according to power levels, Hauser is way more powerful than Gila. Or Gia, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Um, but for some reason, they're not able to do anything to her. Maybe it's a matchup thing, but even then, I can't even say it's a matchup thing because they can match her like physically. It's just that for some reason they're unable to handle her explosions, apparently, which they should be able to. I mean, Meliodas, I understand that her explosions are indirect for the most part, but most of her attacks are indirect, so his full counter won't be able to do much. But like I said, physically he can, like, he can match her, maybe even toss her around. Should be able to, judging by from what we've seen in the actual tournament in Basel. Like the seven deadly sins should be outclassing them, but for some reason, and then it continues after the tournament where we see Bond and Meliodas get wrecked by her and Jericho, which, I mean, I guess it's something it's not a big deal, but it's just that it doesn't make much sense to me. It's like it's clear that they're not going all out, but I don't understand why they're not going all out. I wish there would have been some sort of explanation. Maybe they feel like they would have killed them. I know Bond clearly feels something for Jericho at that point. Gila, maybe they just didn't want to kill Gila, I guess. I don't have any reason to feel anything for her, but it is what it is. Stopped on chapter 50. I already said that. But I can't wait to keep reading, even though I've been procrastinating like crazy. So you probably wouldn't think that I'm eager to continue reading. Shout out to whoever liked the video. 2 people drop likes. Appreciate that. Chapter 50, I can't remember if it was exactly in chapter 50, if it was a 49, but it was cool the way that they set everything up to come soon after that with Helbram taking the part of the Ten Commandments sacred coffin. I think that's what they called it. Let me see if I can go to the chapter. It was cool. I got the official translations, so that always makes me feel better knowing I got the officials. Because I pay for Crunchyroll. They got this manga service. Yeah, that's swell. They set that up with him and telling us that they need to get Elizabeth, although they didn't get Elizabeth, but she's actually important to whatever goal they're trying to achieve. They have to come back for her at some point. So that sets that up very nicely. And also, you see a lot of people say it's an ass pull, but Elizabeth's tears, I noticed that, knowing that she has the healing properties with her tears and everything, you can see that they're falling on Veronica's cheeks when Veronica was supposed to die. And when it comes out later that she's actually a druid with healing properties, knowing that, since I know that now, I see that and I'm like, okay, that makes perfect sense that she would still be living. It was also nice to see different characters interact and different motivations, and kind of pitiful. Like, even though Hauser was really cool, he's pretty decent, but Greermore was pretty pitiful. Like, he got bodied by Deanne. Can't really blame him for that. And then he lost his composure. I mean, he was in love. He's in love with Veronica, so you can't blame him for losing his composure and not being able to fight to his full capabilities, because I don't know if that's the way that his magic works, or if that's the way that magic works in general. But I'm assuming it's his magic, because he did say something about it being a manifestation of his will. And since he was so distraught in that moment, seeing Veronica and the way she was, it would make sense that he wouldn't be able to properly defend himself, or let alone anybody else in that situation against Gila and Jericho. But I feel like they got a little too much shine, and that might sound weird because they did end up getting bodied. But at the same time, going up against Bone and Meliodas and actually like they basically won, but they ended up not looking too good in the end. But for the time being, it was looking like, okay, so have they surpassed Sir Meliodas and Sir Bond? And I mean, of course, I know the answer, but anybody who hasn't gotten past that point wouldn't exactly know what to think about that. Another thing that I really enjoyed was seeing another one of the scenes with their sacred treasure, which in this case it happens to be Deanne with Gideon, and the feat that she pulled off was tremendous. Like she used this technique called Mother Catastrophe, and I don't know if the gigantic landmass that she lifted into the air, I don't know if that was a continuation of that technique, or was it like a chain effect with one technique on top of another. But either way, it was like it was crazy. Like I think Seven Deadly Sins is over One Piece already at this point in the manga, like at chapter 50. Like she did it casually too, bro. Like it's ridiculous. Like a mass of land, and then she's a giant, and you can't even see her on top of this thing. You can't even pick her out, and if you can, it's barely. Go back and try to look at it. I think it was more clear in the manga. I mean, in the anime, but in the manga, you can't pick her out at all. But we know that she's standing right on top of it, though. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. So she lifted up this telekinetically, she lifted up this massive land mass the size of a mountain from the looks of it, and then sent it crashing down into the ground. It's ridiculous. And Hendrickson knew what was up. Like, retreat immediately. Hillbrom said he barely got away. Like, this shit crazy, man. If the Sins wasn't so carefree, they probably would have tracked him down, took care of him. But once everything cooled down, they realized everybody was, no longer a threat, and it was no longer directly in front of them, opposing them. Like the threat levels went down from 10 to 1. And it seemed like Hellbrom was on the other side of that rock, but they just didn't realize it. So they wasn't so chill. They would have killed Hellbrom. It's crazy how drastic they go from without the sacred treasures to with the sacred treasures. Their power increases so immensely. Like she went from creating pillars of stone, which were magnificent in scale, but this thing right here, like that, my goodness. I feel like I should go back and read it again. This is crazy. And then she was all serious, and then then she see Meliodas, and she like, Captain. I love the sense, man. Can't wait till I get to chapter 100 to do the next video. Like, this one ain't even over yet. I'm already talking about the next. The confrontation with Hellbrom is, they do a nice job of fleshing it out in these earlier chapters. for when it actually comes to a head in the Battle of the Kingdom. I'm always disappointed when I think back to the fact that Meliodas let such an important artifact go. I mean that sword hilt decides the fate of humanity, and well, I guess that just shows how intense his love for Elizabeth is, because he basically said it. He was like, as long as you all right, it really doesn't matter. But he still acknowledged how important it was. He just wasn't about to leave her and go chasing after it. And it's still confusing exactly what was going on with Meliodas in this little demon trance. Was he was he still Meliodas, or was he being manipulated by the Demon King? Or, it's nothing really to nitpick over, but I just don't like when things like this happen and we don't get straightforward explanations to what's happening. We have to ask questions, but it might have been explained in like a Q&A or something, and I just don't know. Or maybe there was like a like an offhand explanation in these chapters, and I just didn't pick up on it. Or maybe it's something that they explain later, and I just don't remember. Because I know there's a few things throughout me reading 1 through 50 this time, well, for the first time, because I never read them before. Um, it was a few things where I noticed I'm like, yeah, how did this get resolved? And it was like 2 pages later, it was like, okay, all right, all right. Yeah, well, not really how did it get resolved, but I was thinking, what's the reasoning behind this happening and this happening? Was that an ass pull? Was that a plot hole right there? What's going on? Yeah, you just gotta be patient because it's literally like 2 panels later, and you get your answer. So it's really no big deal at all. Sorry, I was doing something else. So, this Marmus guy from the Kingdom of Leonis, he showed up with Gila and Jericho. He really gets on my nerves, man. Like he got such a hacks ability, but he's such a waste of a character. That's such a waste of a hacks ability. Like that's something that should belong to a top tier. Gravity, gravity manipulation. But for some reason, it wound up in his hands. And like, it's this funny scene after the seven deadly sins saved the kingdom. Like when all the knights bound down, like he get down on both knees and both hands, like this here. Like, man, Your Majesty, I fucked up, Your Majesty, I'm sorry. Like, like he must have did something personal. He must have had sex with the king's wife. Get down on both hands, both knees. Everybody else didn't feel the need to do all that. Nobody but Marmus. You know, it's always crazy when I witness this fight between with Helbram, King, and Meliodas, because I'm always blown away at how Helbram just comes through and just he basically wrecked King. I mean, not basically, he did wreck King, and it's always like, damn man, Helbram is so strong, he's so overpowered, so powerful. And then I'm reminded that he's actually borrowing the powers of other people, even though he still is very powerful, but because that's his ability. But at the same time, it's like, if there's any way to circumvent this, that he wouldn't be as troublesome. But as far as I can remember, there is no way to circumvent that other than killing the people that he's linked with. But that's easier said than done. It was nice finding out. Not nice. Why do I keep saying nice? Um, well, one thing that I liked was that was that I lost my train of thought. That they didn't exactly know that. Well, they didn't know at all that Meliodas. Well, not at all because they had some sort of inkling because they tried to do something to subdue him that had something to do with the demon clan. So they knew something was up with him. They just didn't know exactly what and to what extent. So when he found out that like he was a demon from the start, he wasn't actually what they thought he was. They thought he was some sort of precursor for the new generation, the holy knights who ingest the demon's blood to gain new abilities. But the thing is with Meliodas is that he was always a demon. Meliodas' destructive power is ridiculous. Well, all the destructive power is ridiculous, really. Like he came through with a casual jab and like caused an explosion on the side of the mountain. Like it's just you gotta see it to understand. I'm an action junkie. I don't like storytelling. I want to see fights. Uh, what's good? OP or die? What's up, Logia? Yeah, man, Taizai is great. Mm, shit. I feel like somebody who slept on and Taizai is Sir Twiggo. Man, Twiggo was a beast, man. And Twiggo, he got feet. He cut down the whole forest casually. One swing from his sword. An entire forest. It's pretty hype. And he cut off a side of a cliff casually. One swing of his sword. It's pretty hard to believe that it's pretty hard to believe that Twiggo wasn't a full fledged holy knight. He was just an apprentice. It's also sad knowing that he dies. It's like he actually died. That saddens me. Just being honest. Like legit sad that Twiggo died because he has so much potential. Does Hawk ever turn back to normal size? Pale, I don't want to tell you, Pale. I don't want to tell you. Hunter x Hunter, Gintama, and Taizai are all better than One Piece, in my honest opinion. Oh, well, Kimberly, you're entitled to your opinion, just like the rest of us. But One Piece is the number one series for me. Taizai is in my top five, and I still haven't tried Gintama. I want to. Hmm. Um, what was I about to say? Damn, man, Brago's still streaming. He started another stream. What's going on with this nigga, man? Uh, Shout out to Brago. Go like Brago's stream and come right back. Thoughts on King's storyline. That shit hit me. Um, Yeah, I hear nothing but good things. Well, not nothing but good things, because I've heard some people say it's terrible. But I've heard very good things about Gintama. But I've also heard some pretty bad things. King storyline. King storyline is great. They still haven't got too deep within it at this point in the story that I'm rereading. Um, I'm trying not to go too far ahead, partly because I want to actually um, stick to the whole scheme of the quarterly discussion thing, and partly due to my terrible memory. So I might not be able to even say much about certain things. So I'm just gonna save that for well, save what I can. Well, what I got ain't much. I know what happens. I know what goes down, but like I said, I rather hold off on talking about King's story and what drives him and what's made him into the character that he is, into the person that he is. What I can talk about is what, in my opinion, one of the most well done, one of the saddest, most impactful backstories in any manga that I've ever read, which is the Bond and the Lane backstory. It was, I mean, every time I read it, it's like you see these two characters, they meet. It's like love at first sight, happily. You think it's just gonna be happy, happy, joy, joy. There's not a time where I read that where I haven't been like, no, 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 because I know it's gonna come, I know it's gonna happen, but I mean, I dread it every single time. It's just it's such a sad, such a tragic backstory, and seeing the way that like Bond is set up to be, Bond is set up to be this great figure for the fairies, for the fairy race, through the fact that for some reason, whatever reason, the the fairy king's forest, it accepts him and it wants him from the looks of things, because as Elaine was as Elaine stated, I don't know her exact words verbatim, but basically, like, the Fairy King's forest has never chosen to protect the mortal in the manner that it's protecting Bond. Like, every time he fell from the highest point where Elaine was at, protecting the Fountain of Youth, there was always something that prevented Bond from dying, like strangely placed branches, uh, more than King at this point. Uh, I say there's more to King's character. I can't remember exactly what chapters there were, but I'm assuming it's no, it must have been during the palace. I mean, not the palace, the kingdom invasion. Yeah, I think it was like in the middle of the Helbram fight. I think so. Whenever I get there, I'll just you know I'll expound on what I think about King and everything. Yeah, but seeing Bond and Elaine's relationship develop in the way that it did, they were so happy with one another. Elaine never had a friend and never had anybody to talk to, didn't trust anyone. But Bond's childish nature and his surprising selflessness really let her open up her heart. It's pretty. I don't know if ironic is the word to use here, but um, I guess it would be ironic that the foxen of greed would be so selfless and so heartwarming. Yeah, yeah, they had a lot of respect for Bond. And if you remember when upon his return to the forest, they welcomed Bond with open arms. and they shunned King. Man, I can't really blame him though. Do you think that Bond is? I don't know if he's about to get a power up soon. I want him to, of course. Bond is my favorite character in the sense. Don't know if you ever heard me say that. Yeah, he's falling behind everybody, but I feel like there's no way to count Bond out on account of the fact that he's immortal. So really, no matter what happens, yeah, he gonna be all right. He's gonna be in any fight, but uh, pretty much any fight. If you hack him out like King did, petrifying him, turning him into stone, then that's one thing. And apparently his regenerative capabilities, they're not they're not absolute, they're not infinite. But but we know that he won't die. It's just that the more and more that he regenerates in shorter periods of time, the longer it'll take, which is something that uh that you notice throughout the story. Something that I was just reminded of in the Visel Festival because he used one of those healing orbs, and I'm like, well, why would he do that? His wounds are going to heal anyway. But he took a lot of damage from Jericho, and I think at that point, Meliodas had even done some damage to him, or maybe it was just that the hit after that split him in half. I can't remember, but yeah. But Bond needs a power up. He needs his sacred treasure. A lot of people don't realize that Bond doesn't even have his sacred treasure. Bond's intro, oh, yeah, man. Bond got one of the best intros ever. A lot of things surrounding Bond is best ever. Like his backstory, not even just with Elaine, but his backstory with I think Zhivago. I think that's what his name is. Like, I actually read that part of the story because I had to pick up the manga after the anime, where the anime left off. Escanor is a closet favorite. I feel like it's cheating to pick a guy like Escanor as your favorite character. That's like saying the Red Ranger is your favorite Power Ranger. Um, Yo, Bond's intro was hype. Something else. What I was going to say something else. It was so many great moments throughout this first quarter of the series. Gil Thunder's introduction, seeing when he threw the spear, Meliodas caught it and threw it back. Like, damn man. Around chapter 50. See, that explains a lot, Kimberly. Around chapter 50, it was right now. The It's crazy because I was planning on doing it anyway, but the Visel tournament literally just finished at chapter 50. Well, the arc finished at chapter 50. Not the tournament itself. The tournament itself ended like around, I think, chapter 39, 38. Um, but chapter 50, it just ended. Like you see Helbram retrieved the hilt, which is used to revive the Demon Clan. You see that he protected Gila and Jericho. Bond, Elaine, Meliodas is all, recuperating. Not recuperating, but regrouping. Well, no, they recuperate too because they do like patch up the wounds, and then they got this little funny part where Bond holding King hands behind his back while Meliodas like applying alcohol to all his different cuts and scrapes. I thought that was funny. Yeah, but I think at that moment in time, I think Deanne was probably the most powerful at that moment. Because what she did, that man, that was ridiculous, bro. She basically lifted a mountain into the air and slammed it into the ground. Basically, uh, yeah, but that's what's happening around chapter 50. OP. Um. Oh yeah, I was talking about dope moments. Yeah, Gil Thunder, he threw the spear. Meliodas caught it, threw it back. That was hype. Um, when Meliodas pulled the sword out of the ground, that was also another hype moment. So easy, so casual. When all those men, women, and children trying to pull it out together, and Meliodas just walk over there and pull it out. Like one hand, like, what's up? Well, it's a little surprising that they say only a holy knight could pull it out, but there's not a single holy knight who heard about what was going on and went to take care of it. Because I mean, there are some benevolent holy knights in the kingdom, but then again, that's one very small town under Gil Thunder's jurisdiction. So maybe that's what it was. Takes the beer from those father. Oh yeah. Them dudes. Um, man, those dudes was assholes. I can't stand dudes like that. Niggas on guard duty, got nothing else to do, and they just mean spirited for nothing. Trying to make everybody else's life a living hell as much as they can. It's terrible people. What else was it? Oh yeah, going back to Bond's introduction, it was like that the patty cake and like me next. He like knocked Meliodas into the wall, and Meliodas came back, knocked him into the wall. Then they start arm wrestling, and what's his name? I can't remember his name. I think Golgius. Golgius, that must be his name. I know it didn't hit me for no reason. Golgius was outside hyping up the barrier that he just erected. Who won the spell orbs? He was like 10 tyrant dragons, which each are capable of destroying an entire village. And Bond and Meliodas just arm wrestling, destroyed not only the fortress, but they destroy the barrier as well. Which is, I mean, this it's just ridiculous, bro. What chapter was that? I'm trying to go back to the exact chapter. Okay. But I see you're already all set to greet him. What's going on? All right, so I just got to the part where Bond he opens up old girl's cell. Like they made that little scene look really rapey. Like Bond was really about to do something foul to that girl. But everything was all right. Um, oh, I thought explosion was the. I thought that was Gila's introduction. It's a chapter titled Explosion, but they still inside the prison. It's crazy that this dude, the the Holy Knight Jude, I think is his name, Nakaba. He did a Q&A for one of those chapters, and somebody asked him like, did Holy Knight Jude have his own special magical ability? And they were like, yeah. Bond just took him out so swiftly that he didn't get to reveal it. That's what Nakaba said. Okay, so now at the end, I return to the. Okay, I got to go back a few pages to see exactly how hyped this is. Like the scenes just getting casual feats like this, bro. It's crazy. An eternal seal spell, a last resort for not stopping the seven deadly sins before they got through. The magical containment barrier is so strong that 10 tyrant dragons couldn't break through it. Tyrant dragons? The beast that is so violent, even one alone could decimate an entire village. And this could withstand 10 of those. Damn. So that barrier is is basically 10 villages. That's crazy. But that might be a little too simple just to put it like that. Uh, yeah, Jude was the one with the weird mask. He had like the thorns, like tangling on his mask. Never got to see what his magical ability was because Bond took him out so quickly. Um, I wonder if Bond killed him. I don't even know if that was Jude though. Honestly, it might have been Jude. Oh, yeah, yeah, that was him. That's him. I just looked it up. They have such a weird name, the Weird Fangs. You wonder, like, what? Why? Why Weird Fangs? Uh, I wish I would have been on YouTube when I first watched the scenes so I could react to it. But now I can't do reactions because I already watched it. Hope I ain't missed much. What we doing? Oh, I'm just talking about the different things that's happening through chapter 1 through 50. You missed about 40 minutes, Tyler, but I ain't been saying much. Mm, mm, you can react to season 2. Yeah, yeah. I should react to season 2 when it drops. Most definitely should. Damn, man. I'm mad that Twiggo didn't get nothing done. And Twiggo was so dope, man. Twiggo was dope to me. I don't care what nobody say. Twiggo was hype. Is it ever specified what Jericho's magical ability is? Like, what's her magic? It seems like it got something to do with fast movement, but I don't want to use head cannon. I'm about to see what the wiki got. I don't recall getting any sort of clarification from the manga. Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna censor that in in season 2 of the anime when Braun stripped down Jericho. That was cool. What? Oh snap! I forgot this happened. After her brother died, she got the ability to manipulate ice. That's cool. Um, just move extremely fast. Yeah, so it's just fast movement. Nothing, nothing incredible. Where's Gila or Gia? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Um, all right. I like the fact that they have power levels in Taizai, so you don't really have to. You don't really gotta have too many cancerous discussions, because a lot of things laid out for you. It just comes down to matchups and how these different people will match up with one another. Twigo was a hype beast. Yeah, man. Oh, it was in a side story. I didn't even know it was in a side story. I wonder why I remember that then. Or did I just convince myself that I remember? Did I just make up a memory? Or maybe I read the side story. I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I get there. Hopefully it don't take 2 months. Uh just won't show nipple. Well, they didn't show nipple in the manga either. Um I feel like power levels I wouldn't say power levels are needed. It's just that I think power levels help. I think they definitely help with, you know, not only in not only from the fans' perspective, but in the universe when people are trying to devise different plans and strategies. You can use these as, you know, barometers and ways to judge and carefully weigh out your options when when coming up with attack strategies or figuring out who to match up with who. Like, who does this person fight? Is this person going to fight this person? And how is he going to fight this person? Because Nakaba breaks it down into three nice little categories with got power, spirit, and magic. I think. Hold on, let me check it out. Um, okay, I said power, but it's strength. It's magic, strength, and spirit. Magic is pretty self-explanatory. That's your magical power. Strength is your physicality, and spirit is it's kind of hard to say what spirit is. Damn, what is spirit? I think that's your will. I think that's pretty much what it is. Uh, damn, damn, man. I just seen that image where Jericho's like spread eagle, like reeling from the effects of the demon blood. Yeah, man, that image always get to me, man. Power levels help, but the increase is too much. But I'm fine with it. Personally, I ignore them in this story. Um, I, I wouldn't say when you say the increase is too much. Are you saying like it just feels cheesy? Is that what you mean? So spirit does equal will. Um, I feel like I feel like it shouldn't matter how much. It shouldn't matter how much they increase. I mean, as far as the visual representation of that power increase is concerned, because their their power levels are rising whether we see the power levels or not. He went from 4,000 to 41,000. I thought King's power level was like over 10,000 since the start since the start of the series, basically, because he already had a sacred treasure. I thought it was over 10,000, but maybe I'm tripping. Um, yeah, but regardless whether or not we see him or not, it's just like in One Piece, like say if if Luffy gets stronger, he could go from he could go from a 20 to a 50. We don't know the exact numbers, but it's still happening. Oh, okay. All right. So 4190 and it went up to 11,000 when he was utilizing his release. That's another question that I have for the Seven Deadly Sins. Does every sacred treasure have a release form? Or not even a form? Maybe it's just some sort of ability that comes with the command release. Because I think even Escanor had a like some sort of command like that. Well, I guess we'll find out in due time. It's so many things within the story that make you think there's no way that it could end soon, but at the same time, it it seems like we're getting closer and closer to that end point. And I heard somebody today say that Nakaba actually spoke about doing a sequel series focused around Arthur as the main character, which would be dope because we know that the story being based around Arthurian legend with King Arthur and the Round Table, it was just it gives me the impression that we're going to see Arthur, Gil Thunder, Hauser, Realmore, and they're going to, you know, develop the the start of whatever the Round Table is going to evolve into. You know, go around the world recruiting people for the cause, whoever they happen to be fighting against. Um, I feel like it's a lot of things that could happen because as far as we can see, the Seven Deadly Sins, the world of Seven Deadly Sins is pretty big. I don't think it has the potential to be as big as a world like One Piece, but it could definitely be massive, especially when you consider that they have different dimensions that they can go into. That's crazy to say that One Piece is still bigger and they have different dimensions. Um, Not everyone. Yeah, I know Meliodas can make copies. I just wasn't sure if it was like if he says release, like how King or I can't remember. It was somebody else who says release too. I thought it was Escanor, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I heard about that too, Kimberly, where he says three main arcs. Uh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. To where this would be the climax for this second saga, and one more saga left because I did hear about that. But at the same time, there's different things set in place to where if he does that sequel series, will it carry over into that, or will it just be, or will it just be that the seven deadly sins is going to last longer than he intended? Because it's something that I forgot about from my initial read through. It was, I think, the six Black Knights of the Demon Clan. Like I've heard somebody say something about them two or three times since I started having discussions with other people who read or watch the sins, but we still haven't seen them in the story. Are they gonna play? Are they gonna play a role? Um, what happens with Merlin? Because it seems like she's a, aside from the fact that obviously she's the main character, but it seems like there's a really big deal behind. There's something going on with Merlin. Just put it like that. Because like she says, her name can't be pronounced by humans, and the way that Nakaba writes it out is like it looks like scribble scratch. And she's a daughter of Bialion. Not sure if I pronounced that right. And whatever that may mean, whether that's her father or if that means that's the place that she hails from, it still remains to be seen. So are these things going to get explained? Hopefully they are, because I can't stand for things to not be explained. I don't like having loose ends like that. Um, and recently we got introduced to the supreme deity. I don't even know if the supreme deity was ever hinted at beforehand or directly, like, or if it was ever directly stated that a supreme deity exists for the goddess clan. Maybe it was, and I just don't remember. But that's it's one of the main reasons why I'm doing a read through. And along with the supreme deity, we finally got to see the Demon King, even though we've known the Demon King exists for quite a while. I said 1 through 50. But of course, I ended up talking about other things. Uh, there must be something else that I could speak about from this point in the story. Surely. Damn, man. I personally think that she's either a demon or an immortal human. She stopped her own time that was raised around demons. Uh, Either one of those options, either one of those could work. I think I'm leaning more towards the second one, to where she just stopped herself from aging. Okay, OP. I didn't know that you didn't that you didn't go further into the series. I wouldn't have been talking about all the other stuff. Yeah, definitely. You should get back into the series. Tyler, I was just about to go back into the Bond and Elaine backstory. 'Cause I was just looking at it just now, seeing how he fought off the Red Demon. I feel like that's it's just terrible luck of the draw. Cause like he thought that he killed the demon, but he was terribly mistaken because demons have more than one heart. So, I mean, and it's crazy how easily he dealt with one heart. So if he would have known, it's just it's just strange to think about how these things can happen so easily. But the entire course of history was changed because Bond didn't know, which is sad, but it's just the way things go. Not knowing could be your undoing. And Bond and Elaine learned that the hard way. Except Bond's immortal now. Yeah, that's another thing to think about. What if King would have never left the Fairy King's forest? Um, Elaine seems to be back for now, so I think it's all good. I think when they take out Meliscula, I think she's gonna go back to no longer living. I guess it was so beautiful how they both laying there dying, and Bond is like, "You take it, you drink it. You should be the one to live." And was actually sitting in front of my face, so I should just read it. Don't worry about me. I don't even have the strength to drink. And she drinks it, but she doesn't swallow it. She takes it and she gives it to, like, it's just so beautiful, man. Mouth to mouth, she basically forces him to drink. That's the ultimate sacrifice, man. It's crazy. And then Bond gets up looking like a badass with the nunchucks, and he blocks that attack. And he actually looked pretty messed up, but he healed from it no problem because of the fact that he's an immortal now. That's crazy. He had the fight of his life against this demon. That's amazing. Now, this type of off screen, I don't mind because the panel that we got, that looks very hype. And it's like the way the things, like everything was built up and it all came crashing down. And then it came back a little bit, seeing how Elaine learned selflessness from Bond, learned how to love someone other than her brother. Like everything just came to a head in this backstory. It was so short and sweet. So seeing Bond get up, clash with the demon, and it's like, let's go. And then they show that hype ass panel with him like trading what seems like hundreds of blows. And then they show the smoke, and they got the demon sitting there with half a face, like the top of half of his head is gone. Bond walking away with like holes in his body, and the way that the panels go down, it's him healing from the damage. It's just, and this is beautiful. Uh, yeah, Tyler, that is a good point for her to get her wings and then just die again. Well, I mean, is there really anything for her to say to King? I mean, they pretty much settled whatever they had between one another when they met in the I forgot what it's called again. Well, I never did remember. I think it's called the Land of Dreams. I'm just say the afterlife. When they met in the afterlife, I mean, even though she was being pretty ambiguous from what I remember. But at the same time, King got the gist of what was being said, which is why he went along with Bond anyway. After thinking that Bond was the one to kill his sister. So whatever she said to him changed his mind in some way, shape, or form. Um, oh yeah, well, I guess that's a problem with it seeming as if she only cares for Bond, but um, I can't recall too many instances where she had a chance to show concern for King. But I think it just comes down to Bond being her mate. That's just that's the man that she loves. When you say possible death, you talking about the prospect of her going away again? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I don't remember seeing I don't remember seeing any inkling of how that might affect King as well. Oh, that would be dope if Merlin put Melascula in a jar. Yeah, that would be cool. I think that's how strong the bond between Bond and Elaine is, and you put that on top of the fact that King pretty much abandoned her along with their home, then you know I think it makes sense. But I definitely see where you're coming from though, and I agree to a certain extent that there should be more dialogue, more inner thoughts for the relationship to develop that further, because there really hasn't been much in the way of development between those two, between King and Elaine. So yeah, I would like to see more of that. Um, man, I'm getting sleepy. I want to try it. I really ain't got nothing else to talk about, so it's no problem. King didn't leave because he wanted to. I can't remember. I can't remember, but I'm gonna get to it eventually. Hopefully I don't stay on chapter 51 for too long. Hopefully I can get to like chapter 70 by Thursday. Hopefully. Pray for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn in. It was nice talking to y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Like the stream if you already haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. I would greatly appreciate it. Tell your friends about me. Um, shout out to shout out to Brago now. Brago actually streaming right now. But ain't no way I'm finna try to hop in there. I'm about to pass out. Um, talking about race. I don't know why. Shout out to Grim. Shout out to Dustin. Dustin, you're a black man. Stop with the foolishness. Uh, damn, who else is it? Shout out to all my niggas, man. Y'all know my niggas. Y'all know who my niggas is. I love all my niggas. That's pretty much all to it. That's it. I think I got it all. Yeah. Yeah, we good.